Why are Inter obsessed with Nico Paz? That's what we're talking about today. And yes, obsessed is the right word because all season long we've seen reports, pictures, news regarding Inter, our vice president Javier Zanetti, scouts going to either see Nico Paz play for Como or Javier Zanetti himself going to talk, spend time with Nico Paz's father, who is Zanetti's friend from their playing time, inviting the boy and his father to his restaurant in Milano, himself going to watch Nico Paz at the Como Stadium. It's very obvious, confirmed reports that Inter are interested and want to sign Nico Paz from Como slash Real Madrid, which is the difficulty in this whole deal, the complication, the complexity of this structure of how Como have loaned slash bought Nico Paz from Real Madrid, but how much control still Real Madrid have. So before we get into it, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It is a topic that is a burning topic. But why are they obsessed? Let's get straight into it. Why are Inter so obsessed with Nico Paz? Why is Javier Zanetti going on these scouting missions and tapping up missions for Nico Paz? Very, very simple. Of course, if you haven't followed Serie A, if you're living under a rock, this boy, 20 years of age, coming from Real Madrid, first season in Serie A, has taken the league by storm in a relegation battle in Como. Yes, Como have been getting a lot of hype this season, but in reality, they are just above the relegation zone. And he has done from the center attacking midfield position primarily 6 goals and 5 assists, 113 shot creating actions, 9 goal creating actions. This guy in 2000 minutes has been one of the best players in Serie A. We'll get to it at the end of the season when we make our Serie A team of the season. I think he was in my half-season Serie A team of the season. So he's going to be definitely in the conversation for team of the season player. So that's his form, of course. But in terms of characteristics, this is not the scout report. We'll get to that if and when, or hoping if things materialize. But when you look at FBref and his most standout statistics from this past season, many, many interesting things pop out. Outside of the obvious ones, the top one actually is percentage of aerials won. I mean, this boy is 6 foot exactly, 185 centimeters tall. So he's not small. He's taller than Barella, Mkhitaryan, and Hakan. So he's adding on to Sucic, who is also another guy who's coming in center midfielder this end of this season. The Croatian, who is also 6 foot tall. So Inter adding or wanting to add some centimeters, some physicality onto their midfield. So he takes that box straight away. But then the key statistics are his shooting. Look at that. He shoots a lot. Yeah, he's been playing primarily as a CAM. For Como, he is their primary outlet for creativity, for shooting. He takes ownership, he takes control, even though he's only 20 years old. He does that. And you can see that from his heat map as well. If you look at Nico Paz's heat map this season, the position that he takes up, especially in the final third, near the box, on the edge of the box, also in the penalty area. But interestingly for Inter, because we don't play with the CAM, so we're interested in all his work outside of this position as well. You can see he's busy boy everywhere else as well, which is probably where Inter see him in the future in those other positions just behind the box. And in terms of that, yes, he's played CAM for most of the season, but Cesc Fabregas has been coaching not only for Como, but looks like he might be coaching him for Inter maybe, or for Real Madrid, because he says, speaking of Nico Paz after the Milan game, he's learning many things. We're teaching him to be a midfielder because, in my opinion, in the future, he can become a great mezzala. A great mezzala, guys. That is the key point of this quote here. His physique is imposing, as we just mentioned. He's strong and intelligent. So, yeah, one thing that stands out to me watching Nico Paz all season, the idea that you think of him is actually he's smaller than he actually is. So I didn't realize he's a 6 foot tall when I was started watching him. I thought he was more of a diminutive, typical Argentinian attacking midfielder, in the mold of a Dybala or something like that. But actually, if you watch him play, which I've spent a lot of time doing this season, this guy gets stuck in. He's imposing physically, and that is shown on this quick stacked percentile comparison that I quickly put together just to show him against Barella, Frattesi, Hakan, and Mkhitaryan. It's kind of a skewed comparison because it's just about involvement and contribution. So obviously, as a CAM with high contribution levels in this team, he's going to stand out more than our midfielders. But it just puts into perspective what type of player he is. Duels per 90, the most out of our compared to our midfielders. So this guy attacking duels or defensive duels, again, he gets stuck in. But dual win percentage, you see it in the dark blue just above duels per 90. He's the worst in terms of that. So he takes a part in a lot. And even though he is quite physical, he's not winning a lot of those duels. But then you see where he starts to stand out once again, shots per 90, dribbles per 90, another key statistic and key attribute that Nico Paz can, I'm not going to say will, can bring to Inter. And then carries per 90, you see again, he stands out completely compared to Inter's other midfielders. So why Inter want to bring him in? They see potential in him as the mezzala, like Fabregas mentioned, but also his existing attributes as an attacking midfielder, like this, shots created from take-ons, successful dribbling percentages over just over 50%. And the key thing is about his successful take-ons, he's a lot of the times doing it from central areas. Central areas, of course, is much more difficult to dribble in the middle. That's where everything is more congested. There's, teams that are more compact there. Usually, if you've got, more physical center midfielders playing in there. And the fact that Nico Paz is putting up these types of numbers instead they are against, very organized defenses shows you the potential and the level of the player that is able to do that. And that's what Inter need, don't we? We could keep complaining about lack of dribbling, creativity outside of, Marcus Thuram, really. That's the only player in the team that can really do that. Piotr Zielinski was, of course, supposed to be adding a little bit of this as the mezzala for Inter, but he hasn't really shown that this season. So that is what we need someone like Nico Paz to do if we're able to sign him. Progressive passes, shot creating action, but again, complete on both sides, tackling and interception is in a higher percentile. Aerials 1, touches in the defensive third, so he does come back, and he doesn't shy away from hard work. I've even compared his running style to Davide Frattesi, and that's not as a slight to him. That's just to show you that the kind of legs and intensity that he has. He does not play like a lazy attacking midfielder. He is an all-rounded midfielder, and I agree with Fabregas. I think his future position will be and should be as a mezzala. Can Inter make this deal happen? That is, of course, the issue at the moment. Latest reports, as translated here by Sempre Inter from the original report from Sky Sport Italia, Gianluca Di Marzio, it's not looking likely at the moment. So the latest report as of yesterday, I believe this was 19th of March or 2 days ago, Real Madrid and Como agreed to extend the loan of Nico Paz. So rather than Real Madrid exercising the buyback option, they will leave Nico Paz there for another season, or Como will take the buyout, the 6 million buyout, and then Real Madrid won't buy him back this season, but bring him back next year, because it looks like Luka Modric is about to renew his contract for 1 more year. He says he's got 1 more. I got 1 more in me, Lukita Modric said. And I think they are earmarking him again as mezzala. I think Real Madrid probably do see that as well, that potential to be the mezzala. And Ancelotti also confirmed recently that the club are monitoring the youngsters' progress. So it's not looking very likely. Now that these links will cool down unless Inter can find the funds to convince Real Madrid and Como to part ways with the youngster. And then the rumors, of course, if you've heard recently, no surprise, is that Inter are linked to Arda Güler, who's also kind of, I guess, the alternative for Real Madrid. They already have Arda Güler, but he's definitely not a mezzala or ready to be mezzala yet. We'll see in the future. So maybe that's the backup plan for Inter and why Inter are so heavily linked with him. Do I see this deal happening? I was quite confident on this because, as we've said, Inter very publicly made it clear that they want Nico Paz. They've taken multiple steps with the player's agent. I think the player probably does want to come to Inter. I think he knows, especially compared to Real Madrid, he's much more likely to get playing time, especially if Inter are looking to sell Frattesi in the summer with the Mkhitaryan's age and obvious decline coming in. He will get playing time. He will get playing time. And Real Madrid, will he get playing time? Not really sure about that. Como obviously will get playing time, but does he really want to be fighting out for? Yeah, Como might be continue to progress, but what can Como really offer him compared to Inter outside of guaranteed starter minutes? So I guess Inter are going to have to rely and play on the player and father side heavily, but at the end of the day, control remains with the Como and Real Madrid. But hopefully, if Inter put, proper money down, they're able to sell Frattesi, get some money, and get a proper offer on the table of, obviously, it's going to be upwards of 20 million at least. SofaScore rates him around 22 million euros. I'm thinking probably that's around about 25, 30 million you're talking about here, minimum for Nico Paz. If they're able to table that for Como straight away, not those types of loan with option and creative obligations to buy in 3 to 4 years if he makes 14.5 appearances in the spring of 2027. If he eats yogurt for breakfast on the 2nd of August, they need to put down straight money, buy him out, let Como make their money out of him and get the replacement in. That does look unlikely, but let's see how things develop. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think of this whole deal. Do you understand this obsession with Nico Paz? Do you want Nico Paz? Do you see him as the mezzala, or do you think Inter actually looking to sign him as a striker or something else? Or do you think Inter should sign Arda Güler? Forget about him. Arda Güler is available on loan. Get Arda Güler instead of him, which I don't think so. I don't think we should do that. That is my opinion. We'll see if this is another Lavezzi, if this is another Paulo Dybala, another Bremer type of deal, or will it actually come through? You guys let me know in the comments down below. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ciao ragazzi, Nico Paz or not, always, Forza Inter.